what is your take on the situation in Canada currently for women? What would be your diagnosis of the situation in Canada as a medical doctor and as somebody who is an advocate?
I think Canada is very much in line with most of the developed countries around the world, and actually kind of the situation globally, which is that while we have made some advancements in the treatment of women and in women's rights, we do have a lot of challenges ahead of us. So and when we say women's rights, women are not a homogeneous group, right? So how a particular group of women are treated is not the same as how other women are treated. And I think that's probably the biggest and most significant challenge in Canada. So if you have entire populations of women who don't feel safe when they go outside, who don't feel comfortable, if you have refugee women and recent newcomers to Canada who feel out of place, who feel attacked, who feel stigmatized, then clearly we do have significant challenges in really incorporating and ensuring that all women feel as though they have equal opportunity.
So the new Trudeau government says 2016 is the year for women. What is missing and what so far they're doing?
I think that it's a new government, right? And so what I do think is wonderful, and I think that what you have to start off with is admitting that there is a problem. And I think this government has done that numerous times. They've said, you know what, you're right, there is a challenge. We have significant challenges. There's not equal treatment in Canada. We need to work on this. And they've made a lot of promises. And that started a conversation, I think, nationally. I think even appointing 50% of his cabinet as women made people wake up and say, you know what, why hasn't this happened before, right? But they are a new government, and there still needs to be much more that has to be done. And with governments, it tends to take much longer than I think all of us would hope. So, laws need to be put in place which actually protect women. Budgets need to be given to clinics which support women, to women's health and educational support. Things actually need to be institutionalized, not just said so today so we can change them tomorrow, but institutionalized. So even in 20 years, even if the government changes, these are rights that we have.
And last question, what is your message to women and women who aspire to be like you, who are feeling
oh God, don't ever
not being supported as much as they should be, and who wants to rise to the top of their career and at the same time have a family and enjoy life?
I mean, but why have a family? No, I'm kidding. You know what? I think it's that they can. I think the best message I was ever given growing up was that I could do whatever I wanted. And I think we often don't tell girls that. We tell girls to be pretty. We tell them to be quiet. We tell them to be amiable and to get along with people. We tell them not to have too many opinions. And if they do, make sure they're not, talking over the boys. We tell them when they get to a certain age that they should be married and they should have kids. And that should be their priority. And I think if we just tell women they can do what they want. And for some women that might be starting a family, and for some that might be running a country, but just to do what they want. The same way we tell boys to do what they want. I mean, when a guy says, I still need some personal growth, everybody's like, oh, what a mature guy, what a good job. And if a guy says, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be a president, people say, oh, so ambitious, what a great. When a woman does it, she gets a very, very different reaction. So I think it's about telling us when we're young that we can achieve whatever we want.